What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, we have seen a lot of progress from Solana, XLM, and HBAR as they are putting in very similar structures, and so I wanted to give you, of course, a quick update on all three of them, let you know what's going on and much more. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. And don't forget, my friends, if you do want to trade a little XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, SWI, and many more on all the way up to 500x leverage, you can check out that BTCC link down below. Guys, if you do sign up specifically with my link, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means if you deposit $4,000, they're going to give you $400 back on the spot to start trading with, and whatever profit you make from that is completely for you, no strings attached. You can withdraw it, reinvest it, do whatever you want with it. This is literally an opportunity to make free gains during a bull market on a very good platform, so don't miss out on something like that because I don't know how much longer I'm going to have it, so feel free to, again, go check that out down below. Now, before we dive into those three, what I want to do is give you just a quick recap of what we're looking at with those three, because it again is a very similar story. So currently speaking, from Solana, HBAR, and XLM, we are seeing what's called a descending channel. And quite simply, this just happens whenever crypto goes up, comes back down a little bit, and starts to create a structure that looks very similar to this. Now, when we have a structure of this nature, right, when we have a structure that looks like this, what we'll then do is take our parallel channel trend, and then we're going to go ahead and just draw it in just like this. Now, what we're actually able to decipher is the progress in which it is making towards breaking out of this descending channel and trying to continue upwards based on the interactions and the signals that it gives us while it's in this channel. And both Solana, HBAR, and XLM are all within this channel currently in different positions and giving us different signals about whether or not they're getting close to breaking out and whether it looks like they're going to break out soon. I've told you over and over again that these descending channels during bull markets have about an 85 to 90% chance of breaking towards the upside. And so, of course, because of that, I don't believe that it's a matter of if they're going to break out. I think it's a matter of when they're going to break out. And with that in mind, obviously, the easiest thing to do then is to start making preparations of when we can be taking advantage of this, when we can be doing some buying, and getting ready for when that eventual breakout does happen. And so with that in mind, now that you have a good understanding of what it is that we're looking for, let's dive a little bit more deeply into, of course, what we are seeing from Solana, HBAR, and XLM. So, for example, what we're going to actually go ahead and do is just dive over to XLM. Let's actually just start on Solana, and I want to just show you what these look like before we move on to the rest of the video. So, for example, what you can see is Solana's price did get that move towards the upside before giving us this descending channel here. We have XLM, which price did try to clear that golden Fibonacci zone, breaking to the top side of it before now giving us this descending channel here. And we also have HBAR, which tried to also break the top side of that golden Fibonacci zone and is giving us this descending channel here. Now, funnily enough, Bonk is giving us the same type of channel, but in order to save time, we're just going to focus on these three today, and I'll talk about Bonk tomorrow. So again, as I mentioned before, now that you have a good understanding of what it is that we're tracking today, let's talk about the moves in which these three cryptos are making while they're in these channels. Now, I will give you a bit of a warning. Some of the things that I'm about to say may get a little bit complicated. And so if you are somebody who is new to the space and you're just trying to figure this whole crypto thing out, or maybe you're an advanced investor, but you're starting to try to add more tools to your toolbox, all that I ask from you specifically is to just stick around until the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can join the Discord community, where we have an insanely big community right now, over 1,000 members that are generating hundreds of percentages every single day. So if you're somebody who wants to take your game to the next level, again, all that I ask from you is just to stick around until the end of the video. Now, starting off with XLM, we're actually starting to get some pretty bullish signs flashing here for its price. Now, what we can see is that XLM did get a very strong overextension towards the bottom side of this parallel channel just a couple days ago, one in which we actually did purchase in. On December 10th, we purchased a good bit of XLM back at the bottom side of this channel, and since then its price has now recovered up quite well and is looking pretty dang on good. Now, not only has its price started to recover well, but we actually did see XLM's price just break back above the 50% threshold, which is a great sign. Remember, when you have descending channels, you're actually able to break them into 4 different quadrants, or not quadrants, I guess it would just be 4 different categories. What that's going to look like, look, let me just go ahead and draw one more in right here, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So what you're going to be able to do is you can look at this thing from the 100%. So this is 100% up here, okay? 100%. This is 0% down here. Now, in the middle of the 100% line and the 0% line, you of course have the midline. This is going to be your 50% threshold. Now, in between your 50 and your 0, obviously you have your 25. In between your 50 and your 100, you have your 75. Now, each one of these 25 percentiles are actually extremely important resistance and support levels, that of which you can see. For example, right, we had a resistance on the 50% here, support on the 50% here, resistance on the 75% here, support on the 25% here, resistance on the 50 and resistance and support on the 50 here, or revolution around that thing. So you can kind of start to see what I'm saying. I don't have to keep going into it. You can see that each one of these 25 percentiles are very important. And what we've actually seen from XLM over the last couple of days is that its price has given us a beautiful breakout of that 50th percentile. Now, it's not been able to stay above it, but it's not particularly what I'm also concerned about. It's just more that we are able to start working our way above these levels when the time, when the time is necessary. And what I would actually go ahead and say is that this could be an early sign that XLM's price over the, the next couple days or weeks might actually start trying to work itself not only just up towards the 75%, but maybe even up towards the 100%. The reason I'm under that belief is because while we have been seeing XLM's price kind of venture towards the bottom 25 and 50 percentile, it's actually been doing a good job at building up some bullish structure. Now, this isn't textbook Adam and Eve pattern, but there does seem to be some sort of bullish structure forming here. And if you do combine the fact that we're getting that bullish structure with the fact that XLM did just get that nice candle right above that 50 percentile, I would actually say we're in a good spot. Even though we did get rejected and sent back down here, I would say we're in a pretty dang on good spot. You look at something like your RSI, it is still sitting pretty nice, sitting at the 53% threshold on the 4 hour. So things are looking good. And so from that perspective, I think, XLM's in a very good spot. It made a very good move, a good strong push earlier today. And that could be a good sign that we are breaking this wall at the 50% threshold. And eventually we will start pushing up towards that 75%, which not only could be a nice little move, but also that could come with 10 or 15% gains from XLM sometime soon here. And so because of that, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing from XLM. Of course, the strategy remains the same. Purchase a little bit on these days while we're in the gray zone, purchase a lot more while it's in the green zone, and just sit back and wait, because eventually the likelihood is that we will see XLM's price push towards the black zone and start trying to work itself out of it in the future. Now, moving into HBAR next, you can see a very similar story being painted, but it is a little bit of a different one. Okay, the reason that I say that is because HBAR wasn't as capable of breaking above this 50% threshold, but you can very much see that it's a very similar thing. You saw how on XLM, for example, we're kind of just like revolving around this 50% threshold right now. Dude, HBAR is doing the same exact thing. It's come up to and is struggling at that exact same level. And of course, in a moment like this, although it's not the best sign that we didn't get this move upwards, it is a good sign that some of these key levels are still holding up as support. For example, if we draw in our micro Fibonacci zone that we've recently created, we are seeing HBAR's price holding some good golden ratio support right now, trying to break that 50% threshold. And so although we're not getting that break to the upside quite yet, it does seem to me and feel as if we might be seeing that soon from HBAR. And so I've actually decided to pick up a little bit more today. And if it does continue lower, I will buy more and more and more, expecting this push above the 50 back up towards the 75 sometime rather soon. Now, if we do also look at the RSI, one thing that you can see is we are actually getting some bullish divergence, which is a good thing. The way in which you can identify that is if we simply just go out here. You can see that, for example, on some of these shorter term time frames, we put in this low, we put in the equivalent low right here in the same time that we did put in a low and a higher low, giving us some hidden bullish divergence. That typically just means that even though the price is stabilizing, we are starting to see the bullish momentum pick up, and oftentimes that could entail that some sort of move upwards is on the way. And so because of that, what I am seeing from HBAR right now is, a pretty decent sign here that still, this could be a good moment for HBAR. I know everybody's all concerned and stressed and saying that HBAR is dead and blah 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 blah, but I think that this is actually a very healthy reset and coolback. And if you look at something like the daily RSI, it does confirm that for me. You look at the daily RSI and this thing is already all the way back at the 59% threshold, a massive correction. I mean, we saw the RSI correct freaking 34% in a time frame in which the price is really only just barely pulled back a bit and is trying to build up a foundation. And so even if it does continue lower, the likelihood is that it will be able to build up some support rather soon and use that support to continue upwards. So whether it happens here, whether it happens there, I don't really care. HBAR is showing us some very good signs that we should be able to get a bounce and breakout of this descending channel. I would even say sometime rather soon. So it is a rather good sign for me. So although not a ton of price movement recently, just enough to go and show that we are in a good spot and that the bulls will likely step in when the time counts to get us out of this descending channel. And finally, if we do look at Solana, Solana is leading the charge a little bit. So you remember how HBAR and XLM were struggling a little bit to break the 50%? Well, Solana did the opposite. Solana broke above the 50%, ran into the 75% right here, right here, and right here, and was using the 50% as support. This is actually extremely bullish news for Solana, and the reason I believe it's happening is because Solana's been in this thing for longer. So if we do go out and look, Solana's been in this descending channel realistically since November 17th, whereas something like HBAR just got into this on December 3rd. Something like XLM just got into this thing on November 23rd. So Solana is ahead of it in terms of time, so it's no surprise that it is making an attempt towards the upside even sooner than them. And so with Solana right now, I don't believe that we're in a buy zone anymore. I don't buy when we're in the top half of descending channels. We're just in a sit back and wait zone. Solana is going to run into a lot of resistance. We have 230 resistance right here. We have micro Fibonacci resistance right here, as you can see at the golden zone. And we just have the resistance from the top side of this channel pushing Solana's price down. And so I do believe that Solana's not in a purchasing opportunity right now. It's just a sit back, wait and watch. Do we break to the upside or do we come back down? If we come back down, just like we were buying right here, we'll continue to do some more buying right here, because eventually all these purchases in this green box will end up leading to profits 85% of the time, which is a good enough chance for me. And so because of that, although it's not a great buying time for Solana right now, it is still a good, very, very bullish signal to see that Solana is trying to make this move, and it very well might break out sometime soon, which we'll go over. You know, a funny story about Solana, I made a video on Solana yesterday, and everybody was kind of just talking a little bit of that mess. Just, you know, Solana sucks, it's boring, blah, blah, blah. And so what I did is I went in the Discord server, and I said, I'm seeing more hate comments about Solana than I've seen in a long time. The pessimism signal is flashing. I just bought more SOL at $214. And then since that purchase, which is, of course, at $214 right here, we can see Solana's price has pushed up a good, pretty solid, you know, 6 or 7%, which ain't bad. So of course, if there are any Solana bears out there who still don't think that it's good, I would love for you to comment so you'll make my bags keep going up. Much appreciated. But overall, what we are again seeing from Solana is actually very good. I do think it's a very good sign and signal that Solana is making this move, and it could be a sign that Solana is going to lead some of these other alts out of this. You know, Solana's been lagging and a lot of other alts have been lagging as well, but if Solana's price can get this breakout, it may open the door for other things like XLM, HBAR, Bonk, and many more to start making their own moves towards the top side of this channel and start trying to break out as well. So things are looking very, very good for Solana, better than most, but of course, again, I'm not really doing any buying just because we're too close to this resistance for me. So the general thesis here is that, look, all three of these cryptos are in very similar situations in which they're in descending channels, but Solana is clearly leading the charge and it might break out soon. And if it does, I think it will actually open the door for things like XLM and HBAR to start working their way up here more. And so in my opinion, I think little purchases on XLM, little purchases on HBAR right now make a ton of sense. Even if they do continue downwards for the next couple of days or weeks, I do believe they will eventually end up in profit. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'll probably add a little bit of XLM and HBAR to my bags on a spot position purchase. And so with that in mind, that's what I'm seeing right now. And those are the things I'm going over. Again, while we are seeing these periods in which we're seeing multiple cryptos doing the same kind of boring movements, I'll just keep giving you these 3-piece videos. So let me know, of course, your thoughts down below and watch these channels very closely. Your homework for the night is to draw in these descending channels from your resistance levels and support levels so that you can watch them yourself, so that you get an understanding of where they are, how they're going, how they're moving, and more. But of course, as per usual, I will also still continue to give you these updates every day while we are getting closer and closer towards their breakouts. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you are someone who is simply just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, no matter whether you're a beginner or whether you're advanced, I want you to check out Tyler Hill's Crypto Vault. This is a platform that I released, which goes over more stuff than I've ever seen in one place, and we are seeing people generating more gains than I've ever seen before. I mean, we saw this guy, Sosa Aces, coming through with an $11,000 gain on a long trade on XRP. I mean, it's absolutely insane what we're providing here. I mean, let's just go through it a little bit. So there's obviously insights with Tyler. These are just my general thoughts and insights on the market. Also, some of the things that I'm doing. For example, just yesterday, I told people, look, I'm seeing a bunch of hate comments about Solana. The pessimism signal's flashing. I'm buying more at $214. Now Solana's at $226. You know, just things like that where I'm seeing them and I'm just sharing them with them. Of course, we have some daily live shows. We have Crypto Vault Live. We have Q&A with Cade. We have Fridays with Frank. We have daily technical analysis that goes out, daily fundamental analysis that goes out. I have a professional team of traders that I've hired that are giving their buy and sell signals every single day. And remember, this is a company whose business relies on them making good trades, and they're giving you their daily buy and sell signals. Absolutely insane value. We have TA deep dives, very, very, very good deep dives for our executive members on, you know, things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and much more. We have some executive classes on things like liquidation data. We have, of course, just your typical premium classes, which come with, you know, the power of on-chain analysis, the Bollinger Bands, the Fibonacci's, and much more. We have tips with Tyler, which are these 2 to 3 minute long videos, just going over random things. We have beginners courses, 30-minute videos with 20-page presentations and vocabulary and cheat sheet on things like leverage trading and technical analysis and much more coming very soon. And then, of course, we have the fantastic community, which again has been absolutely smashing it recently, putting in gain after gain. I mean, I can just for a quick second just scroll through all of these gains, and the craziest part is this is just in the last couple, like 2 days, 3 days, we're seeing hundreds of percentages and gains from these guys over and over and over again. And so again, if you're somebody who wants to be a part of this, if you want to take your game to the next level, you can do so by using that Patreon link down below. Guys, there's a couple options for you. There's $5 a month, $17 a month, which is the cost of a Netflix subscription, and $100 a month for those of you who are much more advanced and you really want to elevate. But if I'm you and if you're just like kind of basic beginner, maybe a little bit more intermediate, $17 a month. It's the cost of a Netflix subscription. Very good package there for you. And so look, I think it's extremely valuable. And if you do agree, again, go check that out down below and let me know what you think. But of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Remember, I'm trying to post 4 or 5 every single day. So if you have been enjoying them, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel down below so you never miss another one. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.